helping you to weather good and bad economies without putting retirement on hold. This is the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo. Ken and his son Nick know that creating a comprehensive financial plan can align your hard-earned life savings with your retirement goals. Consider them your retirement architects. Now, the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo.
Guys, thinking about doing things for other people, of course, that is the work that you do yourselves every single day at Tumolo Financial. You are here to help people figure out all the things that they need to do so for their retirement and getting their finances in order. And it starts with what should be a simple thing. How in the heck do we make all this money that we've worked so hard to earn and save work for us in these years ahead? And if you go back to the 1990s, you will learn about the 4% rule. That's when it was created by William Benjamin. But it's a rule that so many people are still using, even though it's been over 30 years since it was developed. The idea is that if the market average is 9% and you take 4% each year in retirement from your savings, you should essentially never run out of money. However, in his new book, he has now revised this rule to 4.7%. And here he is himself on the Decoding Retirement podcast on Yahoo Finance and what he had to say.
The 4% rule or 4.7% rule was designed to be a worst case scenario. If you take out at that low rate and you don't meet those worst case situations, the money's just going to pile up during retirement. And probably later in retirement, you're going to have some regrets wondering whether you should have and could have spent more.
Do you agree with the idea of a percentage pull on your money? And if not, why? What are your thoughts here, guys?
Yeah, I'll put it this way. All is great if the market actually gains 9% every year, and that doesn't happen.
Right. Right.
And a lot of people have basically proved this rule wrong. Some people have proved it right. You could prove anything if you mess around with the percentages. Mm-hmm. I mean, Nick, you had that one statistic. I forgot the years now. Was it 2000?
From 1999 to 2013 when the market went nowhere for 13 and a half years.
Yeah, 0%.
Yeah, 0% for 13 and a half years. So you can't go with that 9% rule. I agree.
Yeah. And then you take 2012 to 24, and I think we calculated out to a little over 12% in that 10, 12-year period of time. So when you start to look at that as advisors, especially retirement planners, it's different because people get to retirement and they don't get the paycheck from work anymore. So that piece doesn't always show up. So that's why I disagree with the rule, because what you're doing is just setting up people for possible failure, and you don't want to do that. You want to make it so that they can come in, set up a plan, and then if we do go through a bad 10-year period of time, they're still okay. Because think about it, you work 30, 40 years, and then now you're 60, 65, you go to retire, and then the market's going nowhere. Are you just going to stay home and eat peanut butter and jelly? Probably not, although I probably would eat peanut butter and jelly all the time. I actually
Don't
had that
hate
for
on
lunch.
PB&J, they're delicious.
Yeah, one of my favorite things. But yeah, we look at it. I mean, it really comes down to building a plan so that whether the market's going up and doing well, or if it's going down, people in retirement get to keep doing what they're doing, because we never know in life, and we see a lot. So our job is great. We get to help people. Yeah. It's a great feeling. Yeah. But sometimes we have the bad stories where, husband and wife, and I'll take a couple retire, and let's say they retire early at 62. Mm-hmm. And then one of them gets sick at 65. And I've seen that multiple times. Mm-hmm. And even they might be like, well, yeah, we saved our whole lives and we didn't take vacations. We didn't do this. We didn't do this. And then we got to retirement, and then one of them gets sick, and then they didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. Or even worse, they don't do anything early, then they get to 80 and then they're looking back. Well, one of the cases that I worked on, and it's really changed a lot of what I thought, and this was probably about 10 years ago. I had a woman come in she was working with us, and she came in for a review and basically said to me, oh yeah, my sister went to Italy. It was great. And she's telling me how great it was and everything, because her sister was telling her how it was. Yeah. And the conversation went a little bit further, and she goes, but I didn't go because I couldn't afford it. And I said to her, and I got to make up a name because we can't say names. Yeah. So I'll just make up a name and call her Sally today. Okay. And I was just like, Sally, you should have called me because I could have proved out that you could have taken that vacation. You would have been okay. It wouldn't have wrecked your retirement. And basically just stressed next time. And we do 6-month reviews to try to get ahead of things like this.
Yeah.
It's not only getting ahead of market issues, but it's sometimes getting ahead of, helping clients spend money in retirement and enjoying it. And basically I was like, next time something comes up like that, you got to call me. And to get you comfortable spending the money, we'll run the retirement checkup. And we use it for a tool. And I mean, we use it for tax planning, saving people money in taxes, estate planning, making sure they're going to be okay in retirement. But one of the other big things, and this is so common, is having someone come in for the review, showing them their projection and helping them spend. Because when we get to retirement, and it's just human nature, a lot of people are nervous about spending in retirement. And if we can prove it out and keep showing them every review, there's going to be X number of dollars left when you're 90. You can do things. Yeah. The hope is they'll do things in retirement because we want them to enjoy it. Yeah. Again, and I know I said it, you work 30, 40 years, you get to that point. It's one of the things that you dream about. Enjoy it. Don't look back later on when you're 80 saying, I should have done that. So all starts with that Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. We offer that out to listeners. Our number, 860-854-3434.
Do not miss out on what you want to do with your life in your retirement. Give yourself the freedom to spend your money if you want to begin this conversation so that you can have this understanding, so that you don't have the FOMO in retirement. Let's get to work with your own Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup. Ken and Nick are here to help you figure these things out so that you can do the things that you want to do in this next phase of your financial life. Our number, 860-854-3434, or find us at tfcheckup.com. Click on the Contact Us button. You can send us your information that way as well. All right, Nick, you and I were commiserating together before we came on the air, talking about the idea of our haircuts. And it seems like a little thing in life until the person that you have trusted with your hair is like, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. That happened to you recently. You were telling me, or you moved?
Yeah, we used to live in the middle of the state of Connecticut, and both of us, my dad and I, we both actually had the same barber. So when we moved down to the shoreline, I'm in Groton now. My dad's in Old Saybrook, so we're 30 minutes apart, so we don't have the same barber anymore. But I like my barber now. I hope he's not listening because he's in the area. I don't think he would. He's a little younger, but he's not the same as the other one. The other one, I used to love him, the conversations we had too and everything. Yeah. If he was still a barber, I'd probably, for like bigger events, maybe go down there once in a while. Or I still go to that area anyway because most of my extended family, but he's not even a barber anymore. He's in masonry. So
oh, really? Okay.
Can't even do any. Yeah, he went a completely different field now.
All right. Listen, it happens to the best of us. Actually something that I'm sure you've seen happen with your clients. Once they get to retirement, they end up chasing a passion project in this next phase of their life. But when it comes to who you trust to cut your hair, Nick, you're not alone. Men are very loyal to their barbers. A recent study shows that 60% of men stick with the same barber for many years. And if we're being honest, the same research shows similar patterns amongst women. But something can always happen along the way, like a bad haircut, for example. Everybody has a bad day. Sometimes hairdressers and barbers do too, and it can strain the relationship. But this is not only for the industry of hairstylists, because it can happen amongst financial advisors as well, guys. Many clients are loyal to an advisor for many years until a certain point. And I'm sure you've seen it from folks that come into the office, Nick. What are some of the signs that somebody should maybe consider changing their advisor?
Yeah, and even another note on the barber thing, because you, like you said, men and women. My wife does the same thing too. Yeah, she still has her same.
She's stuck with her. She makes the drive.
Her stylist.
Yeah.
Because she only has to go quarterly, so she'll drive an hour to go see her.
Don't blame her. I do not blame her.
Yeah, I don't either. Every other week for a guy, or every 3 weeks, it's a little too much.
Yeah.
But I don't blame her.
We do what we got to do.
Yeah, going back to financial advising, I do see this a lot. The biggest thing is, especially if you start with an advisor in your 30s and 40s, most people that do that, they're worried about just growth. They're worried about getting the most out of their investments, getting them in line to get them to their goal of retirement later on in their 60s usually. And what happens is usually that investment advisor, all they do is just investing. They don't do any of the retirement planning. They don't do any of the tax planning. They don't look short-term versus long-term. What's the best advantage for me moving forward? Am I on track? Does my lifestyle fit my needs? A lot of them don't look at that, I've noticed. And when people come in and they've worked with an advisor for even 10 plus, 20 plus years, and they're like, I'm getting to this stage, and the last couple of times I've met my advisor, I've asked them, am I ready to retire? And they are kind of clueless when they ask them, and they're like, I'm not getting the direction I need anymore. And that's where I usually see when people switch. I'll even give you a perfect example. Actually, someone I just saw last week, she came in, and this was for a review. So actually 2 years ago then, she was kind of worried about, okay, my expenses are getting a little bit tight with the money coming in from my retirement investments. And she was taking about, I think it was $1,500 a month at that time. And her advisor was like, yeah, that number should work for her. And really didn't run any calculations. There's other couple of things wrong too. But what happened was later down the line, when we looked at the plan and running our plans conservatively, we only run them at a 4% return to make sure that your money lasts throughout retirement, kind of conservative, closer to worst case scenario. But what happened was when I built out her plan and everything, and she had some nice tax codes in it too, she was actually able to pull $2,500 a month.
Really?
So it was an extra $1,000 a month looking at even just not just the draw planning, but the tax planning too, which, like I said, there was other things that advisor wasn't looking at. When I calculated things out, she was actually paying minimal taxes now. She's paying I think it's $1,000 in taxes, where she was paying $5,000 or $6,000 in taxes then. So I even saved her on the tax side. Plus I end up giving her more boost because we know 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we had a big inflation bump. So it really freed her up now too. And even when she came back in last week, she's like, yeah, everything's going great now. I feel like I feel a little more comfortable now. She even has a annuity that's about to start actually next month too. So that gives another boost to it. So it's really making sure that the person that you work with is looking out for your best interest. What are you looking for? Are you looking for someone to just invest? Are you looking for a retirement planner? What phase are you in your life? Make sure that advisor fits what you're looking for. So that's why we do the Tumolo Retirement Checkup complimentary in the beginning, just because we want to make sure to prove out what you're looking for, if you're the right fit for us or if we're the right fit for you. So our phone number is 860-854-3434, or you can check us up on tfcheckup.com.
Investment advice offered through Tumolo Wealth Management, a Connecticut-registered investment advisor. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here.